Hey everybody, welcome back today. So first off, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit me up below, or you can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com. So I've done videos in the past on headliner installs, how to take your original headliner board, put new foam material on that board. Super easy. Doesn't take a lot of time. I don't really like the reproduction headliners, or the board they're making is fiberglass or some kind of plastic material, and they don't fit worth a shit. So if you've got a nice original headliner board the foam's just falling off of, you can buy replacement foam, clean off your old foam with a drill, with a wire brush on the drill. I've made videos in the past, I'll link in the description below. Super simple. You can clean one up and install it in a couple hours. It doesn't take that much time, and you're in one probably less than $100. These new reproduction headliner boards I think are now probably, I think last time I seen them on sale they're like $268. I can recover one for less than $100. So I'm doing Project Field Snake. I had some guys hit me up. We were talking about the original headliner material for sunroof cars. It's a plastic vinyl texture looking material with foam on it. It doesn't look the best even when it's new, and it wrinkles really bad. On sunroof cars I normally use the foam material just like the non-sunroof cars. It seems to hold up just as well. It stretches better, and it looks a whole lot better when you've got it in the car. I'll show you a piece of original headliner material for a sunroof car, and I'll show you the new foam that I'm using. The headliner board on this car was actually shot. I had to find a 92, 93 only if you're going to make your own headliner board from a factory headliner board. And what I mean by that is the sunroof obviously got a big hole cut in it. Non-hardtop cars don't have that. So my headliner board that I had was good enough to use as a template. The sides were water damaged and just in really shitty shape. Actually, it's not even the one out of this car. This car didn't even have a headliner board in it when I got it. The one I'm using is out of a car that I had a long time ago. It is good enough to use as a template on the new board out of another hardtop car. But again, the only one that'll work in a sunroof car is a 92, 93 only board. And the only reason those will work is because 89 to 91 had the map light in the headliner, and the boards are cut out for a map light, so that won't work for a sunroof car. So it's 92, 93 only if you're looking for a new board for your sunroof car. So without further ado, I got to set it behind me. I'll show you what I did, how to do it, and hopefully this helped you guys out for doing sunroof car headliner replacements. It's not that hard. Cut once, cut easy, cut light. You can always cut again. Once you've cut and gone too far, that's it. Start over. So let's check this out real quick. All right, so this was an original hardtop headliner board. I bought a black one off the old marketplace, and my buddy actually needed a black one for his car, so this was a gray 93 Opal headliner board that the material was just shot. I did some minor repairs up here in the corner on the back side with some Gorilla Tape. This is where the sun visors will go through, so it's not a huge deal to repair that. Now, I will tell you, on the sunroof cars, they're completely different. So this is the piece of board that I cut out right here to make it for a sunroof car, and that's the original sunroof board over there. I know you think it doesn't look that bad, but if you see right through here, the water damage, it's actually really, really bad. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me flip this one over real quick. So if you flip that over and put this one on top, like I said, I just use that as a template, black marker, cut it out, and you're good to go. Now, you don't have to cut this piece out right here. You can if you want. I do not, because it leaves a nice, good, crisp line right through here once you've got it installed in the car. Now, I don't know why Ford cut these out right here on sunroof cars, but if you're redoing your sunroof headliner board, don't trace this piece right here. You'll have a big hole right here, and all you can see is the roof of your car. Bring the material straight down this way and back across, and leave plenty of excess material over here, so you got something to tuck under your trim moldings. So like I said, I use that as a template, cut the hole out, template for the dome light. Now what I use as guide marks is basically the clips for the sun visors. I use that as a guide mark, and then back here, it's the same back here. You just have these lined up before you cut and before you map it out. So that's the board I'm going to be using. It's super easy to do. So like I said, it's easy to do. It's not a big deal. Like I said, I've done one in the past. The Calypso coupe I built, I'll put a link in the description below. And I show you in that video how to strip all the old foam, headliner material, re-glue it, put it back on the board, and get all that done. So what I'm going to do is put my material on the board, let it cure for a little while. I've got a few trim pieces I want to put in field snake. I'm going to take the sunroof out of the car, the sunroof seal, and the latch, because that's all got to be removed. And once I got that far, I'll put the camera, set the camera up where you can see me how to cut the material, pull it back, stretch it, and put it around the hole for the sunroof. So again, let's get this done. All right, so I got the headliner material put on. I'll show you that. I'll show you a few other things you want to do before you put the headliner in, because you have to glue around the opening for the sunroof, and you have to glue the back of the headliner material so it sticks together. So let's check that out. All right, so that's the headliner all ready to go. No, you don't cut the center out till it's in the car, so you're going to cover it just like a hard top once it's done. A couple other things you want to have ready to go. You need to have your trim pieces from your window to your quarter trims, and the trim pieces that run down the A-pillars to the speaker grills. Also on the top, I taped it up. I don't normally do this, but for you guys that don't normally do headliners, this is a way to keep the glue off your car. Now, keep in mind you're going to have the headliner in place, so you're going to glue the material and about a 1/4 inch of the metal frame all the way around where the material is going to glue to once you cut it. Now, on the inside of the car, I put some sound deadener up on the ceiling up there, so when it rains, it don't go tiddling ding 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 ding. Sounds a lot better. Yeah, I got the quarter trim done. You ain't supposed to be seeing that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead, put the headliner in place, get the A-pillar trims put on, the quarter trim extensions put on, and get ready to cut the sunvisor, the headliner. And once I get to that point, I'll put you guys back on camera and show you how to cut the headliner without hopefully messing it up. Stay tuned. All right, so I got the camera kind of set up best you can do on a hatch to show you guys how to cut this foam on this headliner. Now, on the inside, when you cut your guide around the edge of the board, make sure, I forgot to tell you this earlier, make sure you cut the little round holes for your sun visor retaining clips, because that basically centers that headliner in the car, the center of the car. The coupe headliner fits a coupe just fine, but for some reason when you try to angle it up to recess the center of the sunroof, it kind of wants to put the center of the headliner board in a bind. So you have to take about a 1/4 inch off each side of the headliner where it meets up to the side trim pieces. I'll show you that in a little bit. What I'm going to do is show you how to cut it. Where to cut it, I'll normally cut straight down the middle. Just do like a cross, you know, down the middle and back. And then cut those excess pieces off a little bit over by where the edge of the edge of the car is, the sunroof channel itself. And then you're just going to pull it over and stretch it. I'm going to spray the glue first on the foam, and then I'm going to spray the glue around the channel and let it set for probably about just the amount of time it takes to cut the excess material that you don't need from the sunroof of the car. So I always have 1 or 2 really good sharp razor blades. I just took the paper off of those. So let's get this going. And I'm going to spray the foam with a good coat. Like I said, this is 3M headliner adhesive. And then once you got that part sprayed, spray the channel all the way around. Since you got it taped up, don't worry about getting too much on it. Kind of the more you have, the better. I'm gonna walk around to the other side. All right. So, like I said, leave yourself about probably 4 inches off the sides to wrap it. I just cut it down the middle. Leave myself about 4 inches. Now, at this point, you can cut it this way. Normally what I'm going to do is see how far I'm going to pull it up. And so I know how far I need to cut right up here on this part. So you got about 3 inches from here to the headliner frame. So I'm going to go down here and just cut it kind of around on both sides like this. And then you can go ahead, let's see, let me cut it a little bit more. Not too much. Like I said, you can only cut it once. Now I'm going to pull the center up like this towards you and roll it like this and press it against the frame and then put it on the back side. So then you have the center is started right there at that point. So that's how I start it. Then I'll come back over here, work your way down like this. Sorry, my paper's trying to fly up on me. Now, you can cut it back here on the back side because this side don't need a lot of material. So cut it like this around. Like I said, I normally cut it on a T, but I'm trying it a little bit different this time just to kind of make it a little bit easier for you guys. So essentially right now I've got about 3 to 4 inches of excess material on both sides between the body of the car and the headliner. Now, this part right here, you want to grab it. Here and here we've got this cut, and then just pull it up and wrap it around like that. The good thing about this material, it does stretch really well. If you see how tight I've got this already, nice and factory looking. Now once you've got that wrapped around, because it's glued, it's in place, you can cut a little bit of this material off right here to release some of the slack, or some of the tension, I should say. Now, since you've got this round part started in the front, work your way towards the back. It's pretty simple. All right. Now, this part right here, you're going to have to put a recess cut in here just a little bit, not too far. Because like I said, you can cut it some, but if you cut it too far, game over. You got to get more material. Okay, so it's still got a little bit of stress on it, so I'm going to cut it a little bit further. Pull it back out and just roll it over on the corner. Now I know it's hard to see, but I've got this side pretty much done. And you pull it back up, and the back kind of lays. The back part is pretty easy. The hard part is getting the corners. Once you get the corners where you can do those, it's pretty simple. So I'm already really happy with the way it's laying out. I'm going to trim some of this excess off up here. Now, keep in mind, your weather strip seal is going to go on top of this foam material. So the less it sticks out past the weather strip seal onto the body of the car, the better, because that foam just sucks up the water. So I'm going to turn the camera a little bit so maybe you can see this side over here just a little bit better. Alright, so kind of sorry for the shitty angles. Try to do this a little better. So I'm going to walk this back half. You can just walk it over since it's already pretty much done. I'm going to cut this a little bit over here. Get rid of this excess material right through here. Like I said, I've got about 4 inches between the body and material left. So I'm going to walk this up. All right. put a little, just a little recess right here, maybe about a ½ inch. Pull it up and then stretch it over the channel like that. Now I got some bind going on right here. Put a little recess cut here. Give yourself some leeway. Release some of that tension. That looks really good. Now I'm going to finish rolling the back. Sorry, I'm trying to talk with a razor blade in my mouth. I got the back. I just finished rolling most of that. I'm going to do this channel right here. Get it seated. And then go to this last piece. This piece right here, I'm going to cut it a little bit further. I've got some stress right there's some tension right there. That's relieved. Now pull it up and just flip it over the edge of the body of the car right there. Bam. All right, so I know this is hard to see. I do apologize. If I had somebody to help me out and film, it might be a little easier. So I've got a really good fit underneath. It's nice and tight. I've got a lot of excess material I've got to trim off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this excess material. I normally just go around the edge where the weather strip sets, where it comes like this, basically at the bottom of the pinch right here where the channel's at for the seal, and trim it all the way around. Now there's going to be a bunch of glue, so it's going to be stuck. That's why I put the paper down first, so you can pull the paper off with it, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all this off, get it removed, and then we'll see what it looks like. All right, we got it installed, all trimmed out, all cleaned up. I don't have the seal of the sunroof back in it, so it should start to rain outside. So let's check it out. All right, that's what it looks like. All trimmed out, got all the glue cleaned up. Show you on the inside. See how nice that fits all the way around. Now keep in mind, you might see an indentation in the foam, but when it gets warm, all that'll come out. So that's with the cloth material. I don't like the plastic material that the sunroof cars have. I'll show you what that is. I think I got a piece back here. Here you go. So this is the plastic stuff they come with. I don't really care for that. It does have foam on the back as well, but when this stuff gets hot, it wrinkles and it just looks real bad. So that's it for a headliner on sunroof car. Sorry the video is kind of shaky or whatever. It's the best I could do by myself, try to show you how to do that. If you have any questions on this, I'm more than happy to answer them. You can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com, or you can just comment below. Like I said, you can cut just around the sunroof once you got the material in there if you want to do it that way. Just don't cut too much, and don't be afraid to stretch it. Just don't pull on it hard, because the cloth material will tear. You don't want to put a lot of tension on it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and you guys have a good day.